After finishing the 1984 season with an overall record of 8-4-1, the Iowa Hawkeyes had high expectations. Since 1980, Hayden Fry has led his teams to a record no lower than a fourth-place finish in the Big Ten Conference. In the 1985 school year, Hawkeye fans from all over were incredibly confident about their football team and their recent success. After finishing 7th in the Heisman voting for the 1984 season, quarterback Chuck Long was destined for a career at the next level. However, Long decided to remain at the university and continue to play football for the Hawkeyes into the 1985 season. Behind the leadership of Chuck Long, Larry Station, Ronnie Harmon, Mike Haight, and Hap Peterson, anything short of greatness would be considered a failure. The Hawkeyes opened the season ranked number 5 in the Associated Press Bowl and had a home date with in-state foe Drake. The Hawkeye team steamrolled the Dogs by a score of 58-0. Behind the play of Ronnie Harmon, Iowa quickly went up to number 1 in the polls after defeating Northern Illinois and in-state rival Iowa State by a combined total of 105-23.
Number 1 for the first time in 25 years. The Hawks have soared to the top on the strong arm of Heisman candidate Chuck Long, who has returned for a 5th year and is Iowa's all-time leading passer. On the ground, the workhorse is All-America Ronnie Harmon. Back from a broken leg, Harmon is a slashing runner with a keen eye for the end zone. But it's not just the offense that has head coach Hayden Fry stoked up. For the Hawkeyes possess a dominating defense that is both opportunistic and hard-hitting.
After squeaking by both Michigan State and Wisconsin, the Hawkeyes remained number 1 in the polls. Hayden Fry and company had a date set up with Bo Schembechler and the Michigan Wolverines. Both teams held the top 2 spots in the poll. After being down late in the fourth quarter, Fry calls a timeout to get his special teams unit onto the field to set up a potential game-winning field goal.
Get it done. I know some coaches who won't wait.
The last seconds of the game will forever go down in Iowa Hawkeye football history.
But Hayden says, let's take it all the way to 5. I don't want Michigan coming back with Jamie Morris returning a kickoff. Michigan calls a timeout, and now Hayden Fry. He wants to talk to the field goal team. The drama continues in Iowa City. Here he is attempting a 29-yarder, which would beat Michigan. It's on its way, and it's good. Hits a 29-yarder. And the young man from Glenview, Illinois, whose right foot sent the Hawkeyes to victory. And on the sideline, it's a hallelujah for Coach Fry.
The only blemish on the Hawkeyes' record during the regular season was a nail-biting loss to the other Big Ten powerhouse, Ohio State, by a score of 22-13. Holtland looked to kick a field goal to get the game within 1 possession, but missed. After the loss to the Buckeyes, Iowa dropped to number 6 in the polls. The Hawkeyes were victorious in their final 3 games, defeating Illinois, Purdue, and Minnesota. Hayden Fry and his staff have not been to a Rose Bowl since 1982. With a 10-1 regular season record, the University of Iowa Hawkeyes were awarded a berth to the Rose Bowl against the University of California Los Angeles Bruins.
We're just underneath the locker room where Hayden Fry is expected momentarily to accept a Rose Bowl bid from Fred Sidewhittle, who is the incoming president of the Tournament of Roses. Hayden will be coming in momentarily. As you probably saw minutes ago, Iowa wrapped up the Rose Bowl bid with a 31-9 victory over the Minnesota Gophers. Iowa finishes at 10-1. They finished the conference at 7-1, their first outright conference championship since 1958, we should say.
Thank you, sir. The Vice President of the Tournament of Roses, Coach Fry. Fred, remember you out there in '82, and as you left, you said, Turner, we're welcoming you to Pasadena on behalf of the 800 men and women who are involved with the Tournament of Roses and our president, Fred Johnson. We give you these roses. This is a token of our esteem and best wishes. Congratulations on a great season.
Marvelous. Thank you, sir. We look forward to participating in a Rose Bowl, and I guarantee you we'll do a better job this time we did last time.
I know you will. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You don't mind if I pass these on to my quarterback, do you?
You do that.
Well, obviously, when we
Coach Hayden Fry speaks about his star quarterback.
As a player, I think the impact of Chuck Long was felt in the Arizona game, the first game that we won a great ball game and that got the program going. But the way Chuck has handled himself from a personal standpoint, whether it be in the classroom or downtown or behind the center awaiting a snap, has always been first class. And I think the fact we have other first-class people on our football team, that any of those guys that were in a twilight zone from a character standpoint immediately got their act together, and as we tried to become top citizens, we became better and better in football. And obviously it all starts with the quarterback. And I truly believe that you have a class university or a class football team or whatever because you have class people. And that's what we emphasize here. And this is the best example I know in the world, right here, our quarterback.
The Hawkeyes fell to the Bruins by a score of 45-28. The weeks following the loss, Chuck Long, Ronnie Harmon, Mike Haight, Devin Mitchell, and Larry Station were all selected in the NFL draft. Long, Harmon, and Haight were all first-round picks in the draft, while Mitchell and Station were mid to late-round picks. The 1985 team was magical. They had the guts and the glory and were wildly successful. For the likes of the captains of that team, Long, Harmon, Haight, Mitchell, and Station, they will forever be remembered as Hawkeye legends and poster boys for Iowa football for years to come.